Okay, finally some life from the Lions. So let's look at the final 8 games as we're essentially halfway through the season and just see where this season's going to end up. Again, it was very difficult there for a couple games when we're losing and just look like we're on pace for another one and whatever season is just brutal. Won 2 games in a row, 2 divisional opponents, one on the road. So let's take a look at this final 8 games and see where we're at because we'll go through game by game and then kind of talk through some different scenarios. But you look at the Giants, 7-2, but again, a team that doesn't scare you. They're not crushing teams. They're right there, 7-2. Would not be surprised if we won. Would not be surprised if we lost. So I am gonna say loss on this game, right? So I think we're gonna lose here. Buffalo Bills. They've lost 2 in a row. They're reeling a little bit, but they're still the Bills. Josh Allen is going to be brutal matchup for us because we know running quarterbacks just absolutely toast us. But if you're a running quarterback and you can actually throw too, trouble there. So I think that's going to be a loss. I do think we beat the Jaguars. And then for whatever reason, we play really well against the Vikings. And the Vikings, what kind of voodoo magic are they on? I mean, they win when they shouldn't. They come back. They just keep winning. So give them credit, but I still am not sold on the Vikings, but you're 8-1. I mean, there's nothing to be sold on. It's just the facts are the facts. You're 8-1. You find ways to win, but we play them tough. I still think that would be just a fascinating game right here as we have 3 games in a row at home against 2 difficult teams and an easier team. Just we know that the Lions fans can make it difficult. But with that being said, teams still come into Ford Field and win all the time. But it would just be very interesting if we can get a win here. What the crowd does here, Thanksgiving, love it. Anything's possible. You win here. Now this Minnesota game is absolutely huge. So really, as I'm looking at, if you do want to make a playoff run, you got to go 6-2 in the final 8 games. You got to go 6-2. Really, yeah, 6-2, 5-3. You got to win 5 of these games to give yourself a chance. And hey, super happy with that. Really, the way this season started and just kind of where we were headed. Just happy to be in the conversation. They show that graphic at the end of the year in the final 6 games of playoff race and in the hunt. Just give me in the hunt. Give me something to think about a little bit. So, and I've always said, make this Thanksgiving game matter. Make it something. And so, okay, back to it. I still think loss. So loss. I think we find a way to win here. This one I'm torn on. I want to say we win at home, but I'm going to say loss. Jets at the Jets, week 15, December. We can run the ball. I say win there. I say win at Carolina. I say we beat the Bears as well. So there's 4 wins, and then at Green Bay, I think we lose that one. So that would put us at 7 wins, which take that all day. I mean, that was the frustration early in the season was I cannot believe we can't win a game once in a while. This is alarming. And we all were getting to the point of, after that Dolphins game, of maybe this franchise will never turn around. I mean, without being too dramatic, but you put it all together. You've got Dan Campbell, you've got the coaching staff, you've got some good players, and we're still losing week after week. Well, hey, if we can win 7 games, I'm all for that. And you can also say another thing. We can make a push for the playoffs. Hard to say that really. Because we can also not. But if we look at making a push for the playoffs, you have to win 5 of these games, and you can find 5 games to win. You really can. You can also lose 7. But if you look at what are the 5 games you could win, you could win this week. You could win here. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's I don't know, right? But we also could lose. You could win here and you could lose out, and you could win, 1 or 2 more games. That's entirely possible as well, because if you look at our last 2 games, you can make the argument that the Packers didn't play well. But then you say, but you can make the counter argument. Well, it's Aaron Rodgers. I don't care. It's Aaron Rodgers, and we held him to 9 points. That's all I know. Yes, we got takeaways at crucial points. They kept him out of the end zone. They got 9 points. I don't know what else to tell you. The defense is kind of figuring it out. And then last week against the Bears, same thing. Hey, defense did its job. It's like, well, allowed 30 points. Well, I think Justin Fields is incredible, and with his feet, and they're weird, and we found a way, and the offense moved the ball when it had to. We got stops when we had to. So the Lions have won 2 games in a row. That's all I know, right? And you can dissect it all we want, but it's something to be absolutely built. Excuse me, absolutely build off of. And the other thing, and we'll never fully know this, but if you're winning, is it because you're good and you have good players? Yeah, absolutely. But I also think you win because you believe you can win and you're going to win and you want to win versus when you're losing, you're thinking, I don't want to put it, we're going to lose. And, you just, such a mental, and you've got the confidence level and the belief level when you start winning. So curious to see. I mean, if you win 3 games in a row in the National Football League, something's going well, something's going right, and you can do 2 games in a row on the road, and you come back home to a Thanksgiving Day matchup right here after winning 3 games in a row. I would just, can you imagine Ford Field? I mean, can you imagine Ford Field knowing it's upset city? We're trying to upset a really good team, a team that we really have no business beating, but hey, we're at home. We've got confidence. We're flying around. Josh Allen's trying to run it. He's never played a Ford Field. He can't believe what's going on. It's all the stuff that you look forward to. So, like I said, if I had to break it down all the way down, I think we win 3 or 4 more games, but you see the path to winning 5. You also see the path to losing a lot of these games as well. So let me know in the comments your thoughts on the final 8 games. I don't know what to think at this point with the Lions, because sometimes I think, hey, 2 games in a row, we're at least winning some games. Can we build off that confidence? We're so desperate to win. Can that carry over? Then I think to myself, hey, we got lucky's not the right word, but we caught some breaks. The Bears had a bunch of penalties. Aaron Rodgers threw interceptions that typically doesn't, bounces off helmets, a little this, a little that. I don't know. So help me out. Let me know in the comments. Can we win 2, 3, 4, 5 games down the stretch? Or hey, we're lucky to get to our 3, 4 victories and the rest of the season could be tough. Let me know in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.